Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Keegan. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave those opinions right down there in the comment section. Kesha, High Road. Kesha, American pop idol, who really hit it big in the early 2010s with huge radio hit singles, such as the infamous TikTok. She essentially underwent a full-blown rebirth of herself in 2017 with her fantastic album Rainbow that I also reviewed on the channel way back. Go check it out, I'll leave a link in the card somewhere. Anyway, this album is her fourth studio album, which I thought was going to be continuing down the path of almost spiritual connection that Rainbow kind of had. However, plenty of sources, even Kesha herself, claim that this album is, and I quote, reconnecting to that joy she's always had inside of her. So it seemed like she was going to return to her previous albums, Animal and Warrior. Did this album succeed in bringing Kesha's fun, bouncy self back into the mainstream? Let's find out as I review this album, track by track. This album had 4 singles prior to its release, so we're just going to start off with the first one, Raising Hell, featuring Big Freedia, which, wow, talk about an explosion of a lead-off single. Kesha really seems to have found her charisma again that was on her previous 2 albums. This is a really fun track. Big Freedia mainly contributes backing vocals, but still a nice inclusion. Lyrically, it's simply about not wanting to go to heaven without raising a little hell. This is just a fun club song, and it feels so nice to hear Kesha alive like this again. The second single, My Own Dance, genuinely fills me with nostalgia, as it feels like something Kesha would have actually done in the early 2010s. In my opinion, the chorus is a little bit lackluster. I just would have liked a little bit more of a bang, but it's still got a decent amount of weight to it. Lyrically, it's just about her living her own life and having a damn good time doing it, whether it's with booze, ignoring critics, or even just avoiding life being an overall bitch and still appreciating your life. I love this message. Sonically, I think it could have been just a bit stronger, but still a wonderful song. The third single, Resentment, featuring Brian Wilson, Sturgill Simpson, and Rabel, gives me big Rainbow vibe with its acoustic tone, and Kesha giving a bit more of a sentimental vocal performance. All 3 featuring vocalists only have backing vocals, which I actually don't mind, because it gives the song a bit more of a soulful feeling to it. Lyrically, it's also giving me Rainbow vibes about someone taking her for granted or feeling used and holding in this pain that she's had for years. Again, very nice song. And the fourth and final single, Tonight, starts off with this simple, emotional, piano ballad-esque moment, much like Praying, but just completely transforms into a strong, sassy, bass-heavy, almost dubstep to an extent jam. Feels a lot like older Kesha, but also feels a bit more mature, strangely. Lyrically, yet again, it's another party song, about how tonight is the best night of their lives, talking about boys and alcohol. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this song. It's probably one of my favorites here. With such exceptional singles, I absolutely had to be excited to listen to this album. Now for the rest of the tracks. High Road kinda just sounds like some sort of hybrid between Rainbow and her previous albums. The main things that sells this track for me, however, is Kesha's vocals. She sounds like she's having a good time, and that just puts a smile on my face overall when listening to this song. Lyrically, it's about how she's taking the high road, but she's laughing along the way and no one's gonna stop her. Another positive message I love, along with a fun, groovy instrumental. Really good song. Shadow is a full-blown, authentic, and genuine piano ballad, mainly led by Kesha's powerful and commanding vocal presence. The whole song feels very powerful, very motivational, which Kesha can absolutely pull off. Lyrically, it's basically about how throwing shade isn't going to do anything to her. She's enjoying the sunlight, and everyone else can stay in their own little shadow. Not really too much to talk about with this one, quite similar to Praying in a way, but still a very nice song as well. Honey is a slowed down acoustic track at its core, but it really does feel like an anthem, especially when it comes to the chorus, where there are plenty of backing vocals, almost feeling like they got the wrong memo and should be present in a more upbeat party song. Lyrically, it mainly seems to be about a broken relationship at its center, where she reminisces about the good time she had with this person, but now they're just dead to her. Can be a little bit awkward on first listen, but I certainly managed to warm up to it. Another good song. Cowboy Blues is yet another acoustic track, but this one feels a bit more fitting, as there's no obnoxiously loud backing vocals. Just simply Kesha and her gentle acoustic guitar. Kesha's melodies on this track are really nice, soothing, and relaxing. Lyrically, it's really just about remembering this one person she met a good couple of years ago, and wondering what could have happened if she got into a relationship with them. And maybe it could have been perfect. Not a bad concept, and also a great song. Little Bit of Love is a complete anthem, with such a bombastic and chantable chorus. The rest of the song has simply Kesha's vocals and a very nice piano, almost having a bit of a marching band-esque drum. The backing vocals on the chorus actually work well this time around, and add to this almost marching band anthem of the song. Lyrically, it's simply about how she's been having a good time, and how she thinks she deserves a little bit of love tonight. Pretty damn good song. Birthday Suit feels like a bit more of a low-key acoustic track. However, I'm sure if you've heard this song before, you know the surprising moment. That chorus, man. Nothing wrong with Kesha, but that melody of bit crushed, chiptune inspired synths is very bizarre, and it's barely a drop with no impact at all. In all honesty, it's kinda lackluster. Lyrically, at its core, it's just another party jam. Almost PG levels of getting someone in their birthday suit. Not a bad song, but I don't know if I'll ever get over that chorus. Kinky, which actually features the original Kesha with a $sign in her name, which initially made me think that it's gonna sound like older Kesha. And wow, does it ever. Kesha's voice is scarily similar to how she sounded back then. The instrumental is also very perky and bubbly, very fitting for this type of song. Lyrically, yet again, it's another sex song. And how they can be alone and keep it kinky, I mean, no subtlety here. Yet another great song. Potato Song, parentheses, 'Cause I Want To, is another song that kinda caught me off guard due to its melody, with it being, I wanna say, in an accordion. I might be wrong with that, however, but Kesha seems to have a lot of fun on this song, really embracing the 'Cause I Want To part of the title. Lyrically, it's just about doing random things because she wants to, such as growing potatoes, riding a pony, and just eating candy, which is so wholesome. I love it. Very fun song. BFF featuring Rabel is actually a very sweet song accented by some shimmering synths and very light percussion. The song has an overall airy and relaxing feeling, and Rabel and Kesha actually have some nice chemistry. However, I think Rabel blends in a little bit too well with the instrumental. He's just a touch too soft. Lyrically, both Rabel and Kesha reminisce about their teenage years, and how close they were or still are. Very sweet song. Father-Daughter Dance is a minimalistic yet extremely powerful song. Again, not much going on with the instrumental, but Kesha's confrontational vocals really reminded me of Praying in some aspects. This song is truly a story in its lyrics, being about how Kesha never really knew her father, and now she realizes she probably never will and will never get to have that father-daughter dance. She's full-on angry at him in this song, much like Will Smith was in The Fresh Prince in a very similar situation. Very emotional, not one for the faint of heart. Chasing Thunder is that one song on the album that I'm kinda just meh about. Doesn't even have anything to do with Kesha herself, as her vocals are just as alive and commanding as ever. But the instrumental is just trying to be a bit more of an EDM song with an acoustic twist, and the drop has zero punch. But unlike Birthday Suit, it's not fun or unique or anything, just a very underwhelming drop. Lyrically, it's nice, basically about how she has this young, explorative soul that never grows old and is always free. It's fine, but in the regards of this album, it's definitely my least favorite. And finally, the closer Summer opens up like a fitting ballad closer, but completely blossoms into this almost country-inspired grand closing number. The instrumental feels very alive, featuring these epic-sounding backing vocals and trumpets and heavy drums. Kesha's vocals as well feel like she's having the time of her life with this song. Lyrically, it's mainly about remembering and missing someone that she hasn't seen since the summer. Honestly, it's not the closer I may have been asking for, but certainly blew my expectations out of the water. And that's what this album did to me as a whole. It blew me away. This is easily Kesha's best album, and some of her best tracks of all time appear on this. Coming out of the darkest period of her career, maybe even her life, and churning out this beautiful body of work is such a wholesome story that I could never turn my back to. Kesha has continued to improve with every single album, and maybe her next will be a perfect 10 because I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.